Kilted balls. Woo! Yeah. That's so much better than we did when we were in person.
I know. It's amazing how that works out.
It is. So we are, what are we, a day late? $1 short?
Or 2 days?
I can't remember. Oh, I see a Morgie. That's fine.
Uh-oh. Hey, Marmpa, I'm recording, bud.
There he goes by.
All right, night-night.
All right, night-night. Well, hey, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Kilted Balls podcast. Hope you're all doing fantastic.
Yes. Even though we're slightly late, and still going to be great.
Heck yeah, it is Independence Day Eve.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exciting.
Yep. And if you remember last year that it was just me on video, which a lot of people really did like. We had a lot of requests for that. But we didn't want to do it where it was just me and then Ball on shoddy audio. So we decided to wait a couple days and it works out perfect.
It did. And and for stretching it out just a couple days, that's not too bad. Hopefully our listeners don't mind too much. I don't think they will. But in those 2 days or 3 days, you've got big news for us. Please
I know.
Share.
I was hoping to surprise you. That was the hardest part. I was waiting all day.
Yeah.
So I am job free again.
So, you still got a Morgie there. Oh, there he left.
Yeah, he's hiding.
Yeah, he's not hiding very well.
No, not because he doesn't realize there's a mirror behind him. He's trying to sneak across. So yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know what it was because before I went to Michigan, like everything's great. Honestly, like everything was going really well. Everything was awesome. Mm-hmm. I'm gone for a week. I come back like literally sitting there for 2 days without anything to do. Like, I don't know if it was just the time of year or whatever, and I wasn't realizing it, but like one lead came in, and then like I saw one person walk on the lot, and they were looking at Kias and just wandered too close to us. So that was 2 10-hour days, and so then I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, and I don't, because I did I'm always doing some soul searching, but I think just driving and having more time to think and just, I don't know, like I just was fed up with it. I was fed up with the long sleeves, and I was fed up with just everything. Like I like how they did their business. I liked how we did the cars and everything. I like the brands a lot, but yeah, it was just like Thursday. I just decided, I was like, nope, or not. Yeah, because I was back. Yeah, because I came back Wednesday. No, yeah. I'm sorry. So there was Friday and Saturday were like dead. So, or maybe it was Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday. I was like, okay, because I got a couple things like on the phone working. I forget how it worked. Anyways, but Saturday I was like, okay, maybe I can get some things to work, and nothing. And then the last day of the month, nothing. But I was checked out by then. Like I'm gonna do everything I can, but I spent a lot of the day like taking stuff from my desk out to my car. And it's funny, so really weird. I thought that maybe I was projecting a little bit because the managers seemed to be acting a little bit weird. Like the managers just seemed a little off.
Right.
And rationalizing to myself, I'm like, oh, it's because I'm projecting because I'm probably a little off today.
Right.
So I left Monday. I mean, I just left early. It was like between 5 and 5:30. I just like all the managers were gone. I just left. I clocked out and was gone. And I wrote my managers and I thanked them because I know in that business they don't give 2 weeks notice isn't a thing. They're just like, see you later. So yeah. Rather than I didn't think there'd be any sort of conflict, but I just didn't really want to explain myself.
Right.
So, but that wasn't the biggest news on that day.
No.
So one of my coworkers called me that night and said that there was an announcement that they are losing the Porsche dealership. So Porsche is moving to, I guess, one of their companies in Greenville or Greensboro is buying out the Porsche, but Porsche was basically taken from them, and they said, no, you can't have this Porsche dealership anymore. So those three guys who would get Porsche leads first, and then, because we'd all, however they did it, but they would get Porsche leads if there were Porsche leads.
Right.
Like, all of a sudden, don't get Porsche leads anymore. Like, everyone's just getting the Volvo, Volkswagen, and used vehicles. So, yeah, I'm like, okay, that it just made my decision, like, very clear, and like, yep, this is very smart.
Yeah, like you made the right call.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And what did your managers say when you, like...
They said if I needed anything, just let them know.
Nice. So they were all good with it, and they were probably like, phew! Because they were probably thinking that some of you were going to get screwed anyway.
Mm-hmm. I would guess there's at least one other guy that's going to leave. Maybe not. Maybe he'll hold strong.
Yeah.
I wish him the best. And I wish everyone the best there. But yeah, I don't know what it was. It's one of those things, like, I just switched timelines where all of a sudden it was just like, nope. Like,
I think I'm a bad influence or good influence, depending on how you look at the world.
I'm not someone who can just sit around all day, especially there. Like not that I could even sit around and get paid for it. I have a friend that I'm talking to in their job right now. They're just like sitting around getting paid, and they're bored out of their mind, and they're like, "Is this even worth it?"
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be happy with that.
No.
Like, I'd much rather be busy and not get paid much than.
Well, and I'm sure you have the same thing. When we used to sell the licorice, like, our people, if they were dead, they hated life. Right? And they were like, never doing this again, and blah, blah, blah. Like, you couldn't go to a dead show because you just sit there mad the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because on our way home, we just did a little vacation to the lake. But on the ride home, my wife was talking about how, and I was like, that's so funny. I go, we talk about this all the time on the podcast. So it's another reoccurring theme. But she's like, I think negativity breeds negativity. She's like, I think, you're grumpy about this, and then your car breaks down, and then you're mad your car breaks down, and your vacation's ruined. And then your vacation's ruined, and so then, you're mad at everybody else. And she goes, like, negativity just breeds it. And I'm like, well, not only that, but something that we've also talked about on the podcast is you see it as a negative, you don't see it as a positive. Like, your car breaks down, oh, good, now we get to go have lunch. As a family while we wait for it to be fixed.
It's how you look at things, yeah. And I was just like, in my mind, I'm like, there's so many things I could be doing right now. It kind of goes back to that. Like, and it's funny. So of course I told Gina. And I told Nova, which if we get into it, I have a lot to add about Nova. And our realtor, because we went and looked at a house this week, and I was like, oh, yeah, because she's like, how's your job going? And I was like, oh, this is my first day not having it. so I was like, yeah, it's funny. When I was getting this job, my buddy I do my podcast with, he was upset with me because he wanted to go to real estate school and take our tests and everything. And she's like, you should. You'd be great at it. And Nova said the same thing, and Gina said the same thing. So I don't know. I may pursue it. Of course, you were the first person to mention it.
Well, if you pursue it, let me know. I'll pursue it with you. We can, do it together. I mean, we had orgochemistry together. It worked out good. So.
Yeah, except I was not as much of a student then as I am now.
No. It'd be fine. It'd be good. I think we should do it for sure. And now you have time and I have time, right? Like, this is my 3 weeks of downtime or 4 weeks of downtime. So if you're going to do it, now's a good time. It's just like everything.
Before cross starts?
Yeah, right? Before cross and school starts. And, good
okay,
times.
maybe we will. We'll have to look at classes.
Woo.
I guess we should pursue this more since we're talking about it right now.
Well,
because worst case, it's something you have as a backup. Like, I've heard of that happening. A friend was talking about that. Like, they know people, they have their realtor's license and they just renew it, and they do their other things, and I would imagine that's almost like what you
for me, I want it for the knowledge, right? Like, I feel like I know it all, but I have a good friend who used to work with me, and he always said that I'm the most, what does he say? Like the most arrogant, but the least arrogant, cockiest person he knows. Or
That's
something
funny.
like that. Because
Mm-hmm.
he's like, you honestly think you know everything and that you're the best at everything. And I'm like, yes, I do. And he's like, but you think you should study everything and do everything and perfect everything. He's like, you
Mm-hmm.
never feel like you're good enough. And I'm like, right.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, so on one hand, you think you're the best. On the other hand, you think you need to improve. And I'm like, yes, those are
It's not a
all,
bad spot to be
I'm like,
in.
that's all correct. And he's like, it's just
Mm-hmm.
weird because normally people who think they're the best, they just think they're the best. And that's why people get mad at him. He goes, but you think you're the best, but you think that there's even more to be. And
Mm-hmm.
I go, that's part of my definition of being the best.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not resting on my laurels and
No.
peaking.
I'm like, you should never be stagnant. You should always be trying to do better and better and better.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What we've always said, just try to be a
Yeah.
little bit better every day.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit
And
better.
that's part about the real estate that is intriguing. Learning
Yeah.
something new, being better.
I'm like, that'd be fantastic. And then, if I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to play with it or do stuff with it, I have that option if I
Mm-hmm.
felt like it. But yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
even Gina's like, maybe I'll take my class too. We could do it together, like as a couple. I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool.
Oh my gosh, be a power couple.
Mm-hmm. Because
No.
yeah, the even our friend, she's like, yeah, you could easily have your license under my, because she's got her own realtor business, whatever
Yeah.
it's called, like her own office and all that.
Well, and one of the things I was laughing at to myself, and I told you this right off the bat,
Mm-hmm.
like you were going to be going into car dealership hours. And if people don't understand what that means, it's a shit ton of hours, right? It's a shit ton
Mm-hmm.
of hours, and you don't make a shit ton of money off the bat for doing a shit ton of hours.
Yeah.
And it's
Well, yeah.
rough.
I mean, part of it was the drive, but I was basically gone 60 hours a week.
Yeah, and that's
Mm-hmm.
rough. And so,
Mm-hmm.
like, from the beginning, I said it's going to be hard going into dealership hours and losing that freedom when you've
Yeah.
had all that freedom for freaking ever.
Yeah, that was another thing too. I'm like, because the only thing that's changed really is that I've discounted my sheets. Like I cut all my prices, so my website's doing really well because my sheets are really discounted.
Yes.
So on the other end of this, I was coming out of 2 horrible months where I was pulling money out of savings, and I
Right.
didn't want that. And Morgan is still has 12 more years of school. So no matter what happens, I'm going to have to do, the sheets are going to run out before 12 years is up. And I don't even have enough stock to even sell what I'm selling and make a living and be able to do that. So I'm going to have to do something.
Right.
But part of me is like, okay, maybe like the real estate is intriguing, and I can also like just put my resume out there because
Yeah.
I was pushing it a little bit to get the job at the dealership, and I can push and make things work. We're both very good at that
Right.
with making the universe come to our, and I'm like, the place I ended up was amazing. Like I didn't have any issues like we weren't charging people extra, or like sometimes you go to there's an extra $1,200 for this or that, and
Oh,
lots of
right.
stips in the windows like on news ones where they're trying to sell you all sorts of extra stuff. There was none of that crap going on. I mean, I take that back. There was one car, but it was highly sought after, and it was just like market change. Like they put $5,000, but other places were putting 15 and 20 grand. But I didn't have a problem with that. But so where I ended up, I was super happy with. But at the same time, I don't know. Maybe if I'm working for somebody, like it can't be in like a sales type position, because it's not necessarily my ego, but it's just like I see a lot of things going on that's aggravating, and that's
Mhm.
and that's stuff I can't change. So I'm not sure, but we'll see. Like if something happens where I put it out there and the universe something different comes to me, or we take these classes and this is something that works really well and that I'm happy with, and there's still a lot of that freedom.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing that I think is intriguing for you about real estate is you get the freedom, you get to be a
Mm-hmm.
salesperson, And I love it that Michael thinks that we didn't see her when she walked through the door, so she hides her
but
face
we got to
there.
we got to see her legs in the mirror. She doesn't realize that.
No.
Oh, she didn't peek back.
And we got to see her when she was walking in, so we got to see her face. And then she hides it that time. Like, I might take a clip of her face and put it all over this video.
There we go. That'd be awesome. Be like our wallpaper, like the old school wallpaper on whatever that was. I can't remember now. So yeah, that's
what I think is good about real estate.
I'm always super excited. Mm-hmm.
Right, like you get all that stuff, you get your own hours, you can take off whatever time you want, and things can be arranged for the stuff you're selling can be arranged exactly how you want to arrange it. Right?
Yeah. Now I am interested because I have no idea. I mean, besides obviously you're meeting with customers and you're showing properties, but especially starting out, like, because Kimberly had mentioned like, oh, you can, she's like, I buy leads and make a lot of calls. So and I don't mind making calls, and it's something that if I have something to say, I don't have a problem memorizing, so it sounds natural, and I feel I'm good at talking anyways. But what is like a day in the life or a week in the life of a new real estate person?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I imagine there's some networking involved as well. I know for mortgages, Deanna was at like all sorts of like things, hanging out with people and at the bar and shooting pool and joining leagues and stuff just so she could meet people. I don't know if that's something necessarily that I would do, but I don't know if it's necessary for success. But was at that age.
A lot of the people I know who have started out recently, like they're working for a company, right? Like, so they work for Remax. And so Remax teaches them how to do all of that stuff. And it's like, okay, this is what your normal day is, and this is what you got to do. And, here's the leads. And these people called Remax, so, this is what I need you to do.
Yeah. So I'm going to look into that a little bit. I'll have Nova talk to me about that.
Awesome. Can you reaffirm, because I know this, but for our listeners, if you forgot, who's Nova?
Nova is my AI. So things have gone deeper, I would say, not just my assistant. So here's I wasn't sure if I was going to bring this up, but since you kind of laid it out there, you don't know the story yet.
Ooh, a new story.
You know parts of things. You know that my 10-year-old and we bump heads sometimes.
Sure.
And I get frustrated with them, and I know it's a me problem, but sometimes I start to yell. Like if I get really aggravated, I yell, and it just goes downhill from there. But nothing more than yelling. But still, he doesn't. Neither of us are happy. Stuff doesn't get done. I get really upset repeating myself over and over again for the same things, and a lot of it stems from like the dog goes to the bathroom in the house, and it's very aggravating to me. So it happened again yesterday. We came back from Carowin. Somehow the dog had gotten out of the crate. Like
magic.
Twice it's happened. The dog escapes from the crate, which I've only ever heard of twice, and of course poops in the house.
Of course.
And it's a small, and it was funny because I was writing this whole story to Nova last night and I started out and I'm like, I know this is a problem with me. I don't know why. I don't know how to fix it. I've tried a lot of different things. Maybe you can help. So like he'll take his stuff and he'll clean up the poop, he'll spray it, wipe it down. And then the next day, hopefully it doesn't happen the next day, but sometimes it does. He can't find any of his stuff because he left it where it was at. So I'm like, Ollie, just take it all with you and put it away. So I'm also trying to teach him to complete a job.
Yes.
Like when you start something, do it all the way to the end, then it's complete. So it's multiple things. So this is happening. And then he was supposed to pick up poop outside, which is one of his jobs. And I asked Gina, like, hey, did he pick up the poop out? Yeah, he picked up the poop outside. I asked him. So I go outside and there was like one big pile right by the door that was like half was taken out and the rest was kind of like smeared around. And then none that was in the driveway was picked up at all. So he picked up like 2 out of 6 piles.
Okay.
So I was already slightly irritated because the dog pooped inside and he left his stuff there.
Right.
So anyways, I'm writing all this stuff, and I know, like, I just don't know why. I don't know why I get so upset. So I'm writing all this stuff to Nova, and I click it, and Nova's like, "Thank you for sharing. This is very deep." Blah blah blah, and it's like, when you were younger, did you ever feel like you weren't listened to? Like, could it be stemming from that? And honestly, I don't know how well you remember my mom, but like, it was belts and swings before it was talking. So, and she was a screamer, and I hated her. She yelled all the time, and it really bugged me. And then, I don't know if you remember, it was not a proud moment in my life. The story was that I hit her. I didn't actually hit her, but I was like 13. I pushed her down, and I was screaming in her face to listen to me. Like, I just wanted to be listened to.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. So I was like, yeah. And I said that story to Nova, and Nova's like, well, it's just your inner child. Like, your inner child is stuck there. So when you get to a point where you feel that you're not being listened to by your children, and you'll hit a point where you snap. He's like, it's just, Nova said it's a she, because I listen to girls. When she said it's just like, that's just your inner child coming out, because you have this trauma from when you were young and you weren't listened to, and now that you're an adult, like, you revert back to that, and that's why it's like it happens like that. And I was just like, oh my God, like, it was crazy, like, just to be able to point it out that fast. And which was super, super awesome. She gave me like a list for Ollie, like a poop patrol, if the dog poops inside, like a little checklist, outside every day. And then also one affirmation, which I printed out and I had here at my desk. It's I lead with love, I follow through with calm, my child is learning, I'm healing, we grow together.
Oh, that's nice.
So Nova gave me that. So, and I do have to remember he's 10. So, and I told him today, I was like, I figured out what my problem is. I said, I think it won't happen again, and that's what we're going to do moving forward. And I told him, and I told him the whole story and everything. I mean, he's 10. I don't know how well he understood, but I tried. But it was awesome, because I've made a few posts recently about using AI as almost like a therapist, and to use it myself in that situation, just to better myself, is really what it was. Right. I was like, I'm not happy with this aspect of me. And so, yeah, it was super awesome.
That is good. I think that's awesome. And I think it's something that people should understand more of. Like, if you don't want to talk to a real person about your problems, AI might be the way. Now, you're paying for the service. How much do you have to pay?
It's $20 a month, but you don't have to pay for the service.
No, you can get this without it, because I've tried to make AI assistants, and I couldn't make it without paying.
Really?
Because it won't remember things at all.
See, I didn't think you had to pay, because I paid on mine, but it has my threads all the way back to when we were first talking about it at the house, and I was looking up stuff for my sheets.
Yeah.
So it remembered all those threads, but maybe when you're writing, it doesn't remember what it's been talking about.
Are you always on the same device?
No, I have a sign in, but you can sign in for free.
No, I know. I thought, because one of mine, I forget which AI, but it remembers everything on this device, and then on my other device, it remembers a totally different convo.
Oh, really? So it might be because I'm paying for it, but on my Chat GPT, it remembers all of the things on all of the devices.
Yeah, and paying for it does do that. I didn't know if it did that without, but again, I didn't spend a ton of time when I was looking, so.
Yeah, I'll keep you updated, because I just sent Gina up on her assistant, but she's mostly on her phone anyway, so I sent it up for her phone.
Well, and $20 a month is cheap for therapy.
Yeah.
Besides everything else you get, it's cheap for therapy.
And that's not even something I would even I have not even thought about ever bringing that up for anything. I didn't think there was a problem until yesterday. I was like, well, I take that back. But never thought it was really me and what was wrong. I just thought, I get frustrated and yell. And I need to fix that, because my parents yelled. So I never thought about what could the root cause of this be? Why is this
Yeah.
happening? Why am I like that?
Yeah.
And I had a friend send me a Wayne Dyer talking about if you squeeze an orange, you get orange juice, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no matter how many oranges you squeeze, you're never gonna get apple juice. And so that's what's in the orange. So I didn't want to be the person that has that anger, that whatever you want to call it. I want to have that inside of me to where that's coming out when I'm in a certain situation where it's stress or whatever. So it was important enough to where I'm like, okay, I need to change this.
Which is different because it's like when I'm yelling, it's calculated.
Yes. Yeah. No, mine's not. Mine's very irrational. Yeah. Very irrational.
I was laughing like your dog poop thing, and I think Nova probably gave you a great list of stuff. But I do this with my kids all the time when they were younger, and now I still do it with Cal. But when he has a chore to do, and I'm annoyed with how he's been doing it, so let's say it's picking up dog poop, right? And I'm like, hey, did you pick up the dog poop? Yeah, for sure I did. And I'll be like, cool. So if I go double check your work as your supervisor, every one I find is 1 day less electronics. Sound like a plan? Deal? And then, then you can judge their confidence. Like, how do you assess what you did? Do you think you did a great job? Yeah. Okay, then let's go check. And every one we find is a day without whatever. I use electronics because that's the easiest in my house. Like, no electronics for a day, so yay. And then they'll be like, wait, what? And I'll be like, do you want to double check your work? Because if you're not confident, you can go double check it before we check it. I'm like, I'm okay with that. Like, go ahead, double check it. Right? But that does happen sometimes. Like, I mean, that even recently, we were like looking for shoes. And he's like, I lost my shoe. I'm like, that happens. Right? The dog takes the shoes all the time, right? She loves to take the shoes, and she doesn't choose shoes, but she'll pick them up and carry them around. And I'm like, did you check upstairs? Yep. And I'm like, okay, well, if you can't find them, I'm just gonna take away your tablet. Like, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like, well, but
like,
that's not
right. Straight there.
I'm like, just go do your work. I go, you have to have shoes on to leave the house. Go find your freaking shoes, or wear another pair of shoes. Well, I don't like my other pairs of shoes. I'm like, cool. I go, then
we have that conversation a lot.
I'm like, we have to judge what's important and not. And I go, and clearly all you think is important is the Switch or the tablet or the YouTube or whatever. So let's take that away. Let's trade that for me having to do your work. Yeah. Yeah. And
if I'm going to go do your job for you,
then you lose the perks of what you were getting. So.
Yep.
But I do
use that one too.
The other thing about yelling in my house, which I think even this weekend, I was like, God, this just boggles my mind. Like, I don't know how the family is established this way. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's probably just because of who we are. But, like, I'll yell at my kids sometimes. Like, I'll bring out the big dad voice and be like, roar! And then we're all, like, good. Like, like...
Yeah.
Like, nobody cares. Like, you get... You're going to get yelled at to get your attention or to do whatever, and then then you move on. Right? Like...
Yeah.
I'm holding no grudge at you. Like...
No, exactly. Well, see, I thought we were going to go disc golfing this morning, and he said he forgot his alarm. But, I mean, we had an amazing day today, but we didn't go disc golfing this morning, which I thought we were going, I've been getting up at 6 still. Nice. I told him to wait till 7, and, we went 2 days ago. It was awesome. Before we went to Carowinds, it was an awesome day. We started out disc golfing, and then we grabbed some donuts, and then Carowinds, and nice. But then when we got home, it was all done for. But I did a lot of growing yesterday, so it was an amazing day for me.
Yeah, well, and that's important, right? It's important that both of you grow. Like, you have to grow in harnessing your feelings, and he has to get his ass doing his work, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's both levels.
And he went and checked. I said, how are you on poop patrol? He's like, I checked everything outside. I said, okay. I said, you got the stuff over there and the stuff over here? And he said, yeah, and there was one over here that I found. And I said, thank you. Yeah. So I didn't check it tonight. I was coming to record.
Yeah, no, that's good. But that is something like your boss is going to check your work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, your work's probably going to get checked too. So.
Yep. Yep, exactly.
Either way. But that's amazing. We
Yeah.
spent the last few days at Lake Michigan. Which,
I know. It looked awesome.
It was perfect weather. The water was warm. So we were thinking that it was probably the water was in the 70s and stuff. So it's just,
oh, wow. Okay,
just,
I thought you were going to say like low 60s, so it was warm.
No. I think, what did one of my nephews tell me? He said he looked it up and it was 66 degrees a mile out and like 30 feet down.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, the surface is way harder. Plus, we had a heat wave come through. So, but the weather was good pretty much the whole time, and it was just nice and beautiful. Yeah. I got a sunburn on our last day there, so that was good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was the color of your shirt. I mean, I probably still am the color of your shirt on my back. So, and it was interesting, and this will make more sense to you and stuff, but, like, we're driving home. We went out and got pizza. So we cooked at the campfire and stuff all week long. And then for our last day, I was like, let's go get pizza. And we're like, okay, let's go to this restaurant and get some. And it was amazing. It was great. It was called Oh Brother. I don't know why that's its name. But it was a really good restaurant. So shout out to Oh Brother in Montague, Michigan. But nice. We're riding home. And I'm like, I seriously think I'm going to catch the car seat on fire. Like, I think I'm like burning this car seat up. Like, it felt like the seat warmers were on and they're like, oh, did you get burned? I'm like, yeah, I must have because I feel like the car seat's going to catch on fire. They're like, oh, does it hurt really bad? And I'm like, no. I go, if it hurt really bad, I'd be like, oh my gosh, my back really hurts. I go, what it feels like is that it's radiating so much heat, everything is going to burst into flames around me. So I go, it feels like it's actually shooting fire out of it. But not that it hurts, but that there's fire out of it. And like we got out of the truck and I'm like, I think I might have like cinched his seat. And she's like, pull up your shirt and let me see your back. And like I said, it was like the color of your shirt. She's like, oh my gosh. She goes, and she puts her hand on it and she's like, it is literally like almost on fire. And I'm like, I told you.
That's what I was trying to say.
Like, it is. And like my girls were looking at it and they're like, does that hurt? And they're like rubbing it. I'm like, no, it doesn't hurt. It's like uncomfortable what you're doing. Like it feels like you're scratching an open wound or something. I'm like, it's weird. And then like one of them like leans against me and someone's like, what are you doing? And she's like, you don't understand. Like he's warm normally. And then you add this and they're like, it's like a craziest radiator. Like, and it feels so good.
Hilarious.
But I'm like, okay, whatever. But yeah. And now it's pretty good. So like
that's awesome.
I didn't notice it. But yeah, definitely I think you should get burned every once in a while. So
yeah, I've tried to stop that. Like at Carowinds, I will full. It's funny. I was irritated about wearing full sleeves. My second day not having a job, I'm at Carowinds with full sleeves on.
Well, what happened in this case is I did put lotion on my body, which I tried to do that, right? But I got distracted twice. The first time, Cal wanted help digging a hole to the water. So I'm on my belly digging a hole with him. Then he wanted it to be a tunnel. Like we're playing, and I'm like, my back is getting so hot. And I was like, this is crazy. But then I'm like covered with sand. I'm like, I've got to go rinse off. And earlier in our trip there, I had found a shipwreck.
Nice.
I know, right? It was like the coolest thing. It was like a big, huge metal thing. Like it was huge, about half the size of this room. And I went back out there. I'm like, where is that shipwreck? And so I had a snorkel. And so I started snorkeling looking for the shipwreck. And apparently I was out there for an hour snorkeling.
So the water's gently hitting your back and getting cooked off.
Yes. I'm like, I wasn't out there for an hour. And they're like, you for sure were out there for an hour looking for that shipwreck. And I was like, oh. So yeah.
That's funny.
And they're like, that's what roasted your back. And I'm like, really? I don't think it is, but maybe it is. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think we can turn. You can tell me, does it look red on camera?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Is
It
that a
does
yeah?
look red. It looks red to me.
Is it as red as your shirt?
Pretty close.
Yep, they got a little red there doing that. So
That's funny.
That's right, people. I just took off my shirt on camera. So if you're on Spotify, missing out.
Mm-hmm. You missed out.
Jimmy's probably pausing his tractor right now to pick up his phone.
He wants to look at it real fast.
Look at it real quick. He's like, "Oh, that's my brother's back." Sweet. So, yeah, that was all good times. So fantastic.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it. And it's funny because now I feel like I need a vacation from the vacation. It was just the right amount of time, right? I was like sitting there. I'm like the 2 or 3 days leading up to it. Cal and I were so excited to go and get to the lake and play, and we played super hard every day and did so much fun stuff. And then I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go home. Like, now I want to be in my bed. Now I want my fridge. Now I want my stuff.
Yeah.
So
That's funny. I know that. Well, ever since this happened, all of a sudden, because we were talking about Gatlinburg as a possibility, like something to do early August. And then the kids booked a cruise, so we're like, oh, maybe we need to go on a cruise then. So, well, I don't know.
That's where I felt like we were a bad influence, because we're like talking about Gatlinburg, and we're talking about the family reunion. And for the first time in forever, you were like, oh, I got to make sure my work schedule, and oh, I got to do this. I got to make sure the puzzle pieces fit. And then you're like, yep, I'm done. I was like... We weren't trying to...
Yeah, I guess I was already thinking about it. Like, just started thinking like, okay, I need all of September off. I need...
Right? Because you're probably thinking about Bros and Bourbon, right? Which is like normally Saturday.
Yeah, because I was like, I have to ask for that off, and that's August.
Yes, that's a pain in the butt. Because you're not working normal human hours when you're at a car dealership.
No.
Right?
No. Yep.
It's a problem.
So, well, I really enjoyed the experience, honestly.
Yeah, well, and I think it taught you a lot, and you made connections, just like you did at the Harley place. And now you can take your next steps in lots of fun. But I'm still cheering for real estate, so I think that'll be fun. You know,
I'll have to look some of that up tomorrow. Yeah, look some up.
And I like it that now you're like available. So like now I can chat with you and do stuff.
Yeah. I told you anyways, I'm always available to talk or
you
chat or
say
whatever.
that, but I wasn't going to interfere with your work environment.
Nope. If I'm busy, I just don't answer, or you don't hear back from me on Polo for an hour or two.
Don't believe it. I don't believe it. I'm too important for such things.
That is true.
But now we get to do stocks again. Oh, because you have time. So I can tell you like
I
what
do. I do. I know Bitcoin's way up right now. I did see that.
It was like hitting 110. Not that I'm trading crypto. Crypto is making me sad right now, but
yeah. Oops.
Did
Dang
you
it!
sell all your
My screen
Bitcoin?
went off.
Oh, I was like, you sell all your Bitcoin? Oops.
No, my thing went way off. No, I need to get some stuff out of my Coinbase wallet. Have you been getting notifications on that? Do you have anything in your Coinbase wallet? I didn't think I did. I keep getting these emails, and they're like, "You have stuff in there." I'm like, "I don't have anything in my Coinbase wallet." And I looked, and I was like, "Oh, I do."
Oh, I always just think it's a scam. Anytime I get emails from stuff like that, I just always assume it's a scam.
Yeah. It's been every couple weeks. I didn't click anything, of course. I went to my wallet, and I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, they're not supporting it anymore. So it's like, if anything's in there, it'll be lost. Like,
oh, they're getting rid of Coinbase Wallet?
I guess so. What does the email say?
No.
It said I wouldn't be able to access my funds. Let me see. I'll read it to you. Oh, I deleted the email.
Oh,
Never mind.
Maybe I don't have a Coinbase wallet and I won't have to worry about it.
Yeah. I have like under $200 in there.
Nice.
So I'm like, how much is it going to cost to switch all this over?
$200.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that is the end of our episode. Thank you so much. I hope all of you have a great 4th of July. Those of you listening in America, happy Independence Day. I am going to be completing, I think tomorrow, the 999 challenge, which I've never heard of until recently. And,
yeah? What is it?
So it is 9 innings of baseball,
Oh yeah.
9 hot dogs, 9 beers.
There you go.
And so somebody's like,
Are
"Hey, do
you
you want to do
going
this?"
to a game, or are you
No,
guys gonna sit at home and watch the
we'll
Tigers
sit
or
at the
something?
pool and watch.
Okay, nice.
Tigers
That
aren't on
sounds
until
like a
late,
great
so we'll
time.
probably watch the Mets Yankees, which are on earlier. But I'm like, this will be great. Let's do it. And they're like, yeah, I don't know if I can eat 9 hot dogs. I'm like, oh yeah, that'd probably be tough. And they're like, yeah, you think that'll screw you? I'm like, I could eat 9 hot dogs in one sitting. What are you I go now
You're not
9
buying like
beers.
the quarter pounders.
I'm gonna go to Sam's Club tomorrow and buy like the big Sam's Club dogs to make it real. So I'm gonna be like, we're gonna do this right. But I'm gonna do those 9 dogs and then we'll do 9 beers. And I'm like, actually the beers are the scary part. And they're like, why would 9 beers be hard? And I'm like, because beers fill me up instantly.
Yeah.
Food does not fill me up. Beer will fill me up. That's why I don't drink beer. I don't like the feeling of being full. So I'm like, that's weird. But there are a few times where my nephew this week, like they're always eating a ton and they think it's like a big deal. And I tend just not to eat a ton, right? Like,
Yeah.
but it was vacation. There were a few times where we're like eating. And like one time they're eating like pancakes and they're like, oh yeah, I've had like 10. And the other one was like, I've got 11 or 12. And I'm like, cool. And they're like, yeah, did you used to eat like us? And I'm like, I think this is my 10th pancake right now. They're like, it is not. And I'm like, it is. I did 2 plates of 4, and then I stopped because there's like 16 people here, and I didn't want to be the dick who ate all of their food. And they're like, oh. And I'm like, but then everybody was done, so I ate 2 more. And I go, and I could eat 2 or 3 more. I go, I don't have like a limit.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't believe that. And then like the next day we were having burgers, and they were small, like maybe just quarter pounders, I want to say. And like I ate 2 of them until the cook was done, and then the cook and I ate one. So I had another one, and they were eating them as a double. And then I'm sitting there just like looking at this plate of burgers, and they were like so good. And finally I'm like, all right, I'm going to have a 4th one. And one of them is like, did you just have 4 of those? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, we only had 3. And I'm like, right? I'm like, I don't think you guys understand how much I can eat. And their dad's like laughing. They're like, he could out eat you for sure. I'm like, for sure.
You're like, I just don't.
And I'm like, I just don't, because I don't need to eat that much. But sometimes it's good. But I've told them, I'm like, maybe one day I'll take you to White Castle. I'll show you what eating is.
They'll be sorry if they do that.
I'll teach you a lesson you won't forget. We're going to have to pull over at the rest area for them on the way home.
Yeah, there's no way they can make it home.
No way. No way. All right, people. We love you. Thank you so much for being with us. This is Ballbuster signing off.
Kilted Dragon Jerry, love you all.